Let's make it a good day.
Coming up today, it's proof dreams do come true. A beloved member of our extended Jason Show family is coming one step closer to her dream. Find out why this was a great weekend for Michaela Holmgren. Then every day is a winding road, especially if you're Stephanie Hansen. She's joining us live from her fancy van with the tips and tricks to doing the perfect road trip. And I've been waiting for this for a long time. Producer Ted is watching RuPaul's Drag Race for the very first time. And I can't wait to see what he has to say and what he's gonna ask. Here we go.
Let's make it a good day. We do it our own way. Let's make it a good day. Oh, no matter what they say. Oh, yeah.
Hello, Mankato. Hello, Elk River. Hello, Litchfield, Crutchfield, and everywhere in between. And good morning to all of you. Welcome to the Jason Show. I'm Jace. Happy spring. And she puts the spring in my step. Please welcome my sidekick sister from another Mr. and Sizzlers Employee of the Month, Kendall Mark, everybody.
Hello. Hello, Jason.
Hello, Kendall.
Hello.
Happy spring, my love.
Happy spring. I know I wore like my spring shirt.
I know, and I wore a spring color.
We're so coordinated.
Little Miami Vice aqua. Jeff, what color would you call this? Aqua? Yeah, I don't know.
Aquamarine.
Aquamarine?
Sure.
Anyway, let's say hello to our audience today. Please give it up for Renee. Good morning, Renee.
Hi.
Renee, where are you zooming in from, my friend?
Superior, Wisconsin.
Oh, I love it. And I love the fact that Renee took time to make sure her lighting was right. There's no backlighting. She closed her blinds, so there's no backlighting. We've all learned how to light our own shots in the pandemic. So, Renee, we're thrilled to have you. Sit back, relax, and we'll be coming to you in a little while. Okay, Kendall.
Yes.
Can I talk to you for a second?
Please, please.
I don't know if you're like me, but when you go to a restaurant or you go to a theater or something, I have that type of personality where if something happens, I like zero in on it. Like at a theater, if I'm watching something and a kid is kicking my chair, the only thing I'm focused on, that kid kicking my chair. That happened to me yesterday. I had a work function.
And a kid kicked your chair?
No, I was but similar circumstance.
Oh, right.
So I was at a work function, and I'm sitting there at a restaurant, and across from me is a woman who is eating a dip, and she's using her fingers, like she's using her fingernails to dip and then put the food in her mouth with these long fingernails. And I couldn't stop staring. It was like a car accident. And then she
like
was
talons?
Like they were long. And she's dipping in the guacamole.
Oh.
And she's doing it like this and putting her whole hand in her mouth like a sea bass.
You're joking.
Oh, I'm not kidding. I am not being Jason. I really am not. Just shoveling it in. And then she was chewing with her mouth open. Ooh. Which again, this comes back to just a moment of appreciation for my mother. Thank you, Mom, for raising me, to teach me to please chew with your mouth closed. I know it seems like a basic thing, but obviously watching guacamole fingernail yesterday, it's not a common thing.
Well, is it surprising after scooping guacamole with her talons that she'd chew with her mouth open?
I don't know, but I couldn't. Good point.
Thank you.
Great point.
Thank you.
Audience couldn't stop staring at her. I whispered to Colin, I said, I can't stop. I'm going to call her guacamole Talon now.
Okay.
I said, I can't stop staring at guacamole Talon. And there she goes. She was loving life. And I know my motto is go out there and be yourself, but not when you're shoveling guacamole with your talons in your mouth.
Be yourself with manners.
Very good. There's the asterisk.
Yeah.
Be yourself, asterisk, with manners. Close your mouth when you're chewing. I didn't know this was still a thing. It's a thing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
People were talking to the table. I'm sure we had some enlightening conversations. Did I hear anything new? You know why? Guacamole Talon.
Oh, and the noise it probably made.
She was far enough away I did not hear any noise, because if she did, I would have had to call the police. Just have her removed.
The guacamole police, please come here.
What's your emergency? There's a woman eating guacamole with her talons.
Come stat, this is an emergency.
Yeah. Anyway, my point being, Mother, I love you. Thank you for raising me right. There we go.
And
by the
trimming
way,
your fingernails.
Can I say this before we get started? Example number 452, Jeff keeps track, of how wonderful all of you people are, I made a quick mention that Dar, who she doesn't mind me saying her age, my mom is a very young 66. I made a passing mention that she's still waiting. She's spending the whole day trying to get a vaccine.
Yeah.
I was flooded with emails from all of you trying to help out my mother again.
Yeah.
So thank you. Little tips and tricks. Jeff Orchid, executive producer, gave my mom a great. So thank you. You guys are so nice. You guys are the best audience ever. So let's get started with today's show. Roll it, Leo. It's time for the hot dish. Here we go. Well, I should say, Dar has an appointment, so she's all good.
Zimbrota VFW?
What?
Is it at the Zimbrota VFW? That's where everybody's going.
That's where everybody's going. What? It's not a pig roast. What do you mean everyone's going? Oh, let's go down to the VFW, girl. They're giving away. No. Let's get started. The world is getting a peek inside Demi Lovato's life following her near-death drug overdose a couple years ago. We told you last week about her tell-all documentary that's coming out on YouTube. Well, Demi was on CBS This Morning yesterday and talked about kind of controlling her life, getting it under control. Look at this.
How much of your life did you control?
I didn't control any of my life at that period of time. But yes, I also needed to grow up and take control. And that's something I haven't done until the past 2 years of my life, which is I'm now in control of my finances. I'm now in control of the food that I eat, how often I work out.
And stop for just a second, because I think this will be baffling to people that you weren't even in control of the food that you ate.
Obviously, I was in control of what I put in my mouth, but there were times where phones were taken out of, actually every time I was in a hotel room, my phone was taken out of the room so I couldn't order room service.
She says she takes full responsibility for her overdose and says she now feels better than she's ever felt before. Let me lead with compassion. I love Demi Lovato. I'm a fan. I'm so glad that she seems to be on the right path. But here's a cliche in the news department. I have more questions than answers now. I really wanted Tracy, the correspondent there, to follow up about the taking the phone out, because Demi's been very open about her problems with eating disorders. I want to know a little bit more about that. And then her treatment program, her plan, I want to know a little bit more about that, and I really hope that Demi doesn't get a lot of hate for that, because it was, I think, unconventional. I'm not judging. I'm not in her program, but I think it's fair to say she has an unconventional approach to rehabilitation.
Right.
And I hope that it works for her. I just hope also, now that she's let the world know that she's doing it in this way, that she doesn't get a lot of hate on social media, which I'm afraid she will, because social media is awful.
It is. Well, I have people in my life that I know that have dealt with similar things, and they all have different approaches to how they've been able to overcome and handle it. So there is really the sense of one size does not fit all. We're all different. And I mean, very brave of her to say that she was doing that, though.
Yeah.
It is a hard world to be different in.
Absolutely. And we're no one to judge. I mean, I'm a son. My dad, before he passed away, was addicted to painkillers and tried various things. It is not, I like that she said that, and it's not a one-size-fits-all thing, so we wish her the best. Next on the dish, one of my favorites is Making It Big. This makes me happy. Michaela Holmgren was on the show just about a few weeks ago talking about her dream of being in the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue. Well, she's getting one step closer to that, my friends. She was featured in People magazine over the weekend, where she was interviewed by Minnesota native Gretchen Carlson. She told Gretchen when she was people with Down syndrome to follow their dreams. She wants people with Down syndrome to follow their dreams. She still hasn't heard, though, from Sports Illustrated yet, but she has her fingers crossed. Now, logic would tell me that I hope the Sports Illustrated people would see the stuff with the People magazine people, and maybe, and I want her to get it, this is important, I want her to get it on her own merit, but I hope that if she wasn't on their radar, I hope at the very least Michaela is on their radar now. And she gets it on. I don't want her to get it just because it's a good publicity thing. I want Michaela to get it because she deserves it, and she does, in my opinion. but I want them to pick her because she's great, because she is.
And it's really interesting how they sort of really slowly release who their models are every year. They start to...
Is that how they do it? Because I
Right.
canceled my subscription a couple years ago.
Just a few years ago.
Yeah.
From what I understand, at least what I've seen, is that on Instagram or other social media sites, they one at a time start blasting out. Like today, they said, why Olivia? And they explained the swimsuit model, a picture of her, and then they explained why they chose her.
Okay.
And they are doing a lot right now to try to get women who act and speak and look differently than what they've always had. I think they're doing a really good job of opening that up. So fingers crossed for Michaela.
Imagine the swimsuit issue looking like the world around us.
Yes,
It's
go
fantastic.
figure.
Michaela, on behalf of all of us, to all of you, we want you to do great. And to the Sports Illustrated people, call her. We have a lot more to come, everybody. We'll be back right after this. Stay with us. The hot dish isn't over yet. Coming up, no good deed goes unpunished. Find out why people are really upset with Kylie Jenner. TMZ has the deets. Plus, families are still road tripping like never before, but how do you do it and not, well, drive each other crazy? Stephanie Hansen is on the road, and she'll join us live with what she has learned. And producer Ted was challenged to step away from March Madness to watch RuPaul's Drag Race for the very first time. Will he sashay away from this pop culture phenomenon? You'll find out when The Jason Show continues.
See, now, if y'all had did this the first time, just sat with each other and talked about each other's thoughts and seen each other's actions, maybe the first time would have been a little bit more successful. See how you caucus and you come up with a plan, it'll work. But if you're just going there running all willy-nilly, thinking that your talent is going to get you through, it's not going to do that. You got to have a plan. You have a plan. You got to have a plan.
That's a clip from Leslie Jones's Twitter account as she live tweeted her reaction to Zack Snyder's 4-hour-long superhero movie, Justice League. Now, we would love to show you more, but that was the only clip Ted could find where there wasn't 17 cuss words. So go watch it. It's hysterical. I love Leslie. I love when she live tweets things. So good. You know, on Mondays, we get a special serving of hot dish all the way from Hollywood. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Brad from TMZ. Hi, Brad.
Hey, good morning, Jason. How are you?
I'm well. Let's start with Kylie Jenner. She's feeling the heat after trying to help out her former makeup artist. What's the story here?
Well, at its core, Jason, there's just a lot of misinformation in this thing. One of Kylie Jenner's former makeup artists was involved in a pretty serious car accident, and there was a GoFundMe started for his medical costs. Now, when this GoFundMe started, the goal was at $10,000. When Kylie donated, it was already at $6,000. So she donated $5,000 to get it over the goal. Since then, this goal has ballooned because you can expand a goal. So it hit $60,000, then it hit $120,000. But fans saw that Kylie only donated $5,000. So they thought that, look, you're a billionaire, you should just be able to cover the $60,000 on your own. Little did they know that she's actually the one who put it over the initial goal and then brought attention to the fundraiser when she put it up on social media. So I think a lot of the times the kind of misconception or whatever about the Kardashians is, hey, they don't give, or hey, they deserve some heat. This time, I don't think that she does deserve the heat.
Yeah, I am with you. I am not a defender of that family. I'm not a fan. They don't intrigue me. I don't find them fascinating. However, I am also a person where I don't like telling people how they should spend their money. And like you just pointed out and cleared up, we don't know the full story. And to me, this just seemed like a friend helping a friend. And I'm with you. I'm with you. I don't think they deserve the bad rap this time.
And who knows how many
Yes.
eyes Kylie actually brought to this fundraiser and how much extra money she helped them raise just by posting about it.
Yep. Johnny Depp had a visitor of sorts, but not a wanted visitor this weekend, right?
Not in the least. Johnny Depp had someone break into his home, his Hollywood Hills home, last week. Not only did this man break in, he helped himself to a drink, and then when police were called and they showed up, The man was locked in the bathroom taking a shower, and he wouldn't get out. So police actually had to knock the door down to get him out of there and arrest him for criminal damage there. Just an insane story. Luckily, Johnny wasn't home at the time, but his security was, and they were able to call police and get it handled.
Brad, you know what this reminds me of? The story you brought up a couple months ago when Suzanne Summers had that guy just walk in her backyard when she was doing her makeup tutorial.
It's insane. You think of these celebrities and you think, okay, their house must be like a fortress or whatever, but here we have someone coming in during a live stream. We have someone making a drink and taking a shower. I almost feel like my apartment is more secure.
Yes. You have to be buzzed into my unit, so yeah.
Right.
Hey, this one hits close to home. Goldberg from the Mighty Ducks will not be back for the sequel series, but there's some good news for him though, right, Brad?
Well, there's great news because if you were to look into the life of Sean Weiss about a year and a half, Jason, you wouldn't have given him 2 weeks to live. I mean, he was really struggling with addiction. He was homeless. Since then, he's gone to rehab. He's steady. He's working. But he was not invited to be on the Mighty Ducks kind of reboot that they're doing there for Disney Plus. But look, he says, I'd be more than happy if I got the call. He's had some talks with some people. Maybe there's a chance he'll get a chance on this reboot. But nonetheless, I mean, the guy has made such incredible turnarounds in his life over the last year. He's just happy. He's a happy guy.
Absolutely. Brad from TMZ, thank you, buddy. Have a good week.
Sure. Thanks, Jason.
More on these stories at TMZ.com and TMZ on TV. I'll never forget talking about like Johnny. You would think, like Brad said, these are big time celebrities. Mm-hmm. You don't have an ADT, like you don't have a security, you don't have a dog, you don't have
a key to lock your door.
Like I being from Indiana, for the first couple years, many years of the Oprah Winfrey Show, Oprah had a farm in Indiana next to my hometown in Long Prairie, and that thing. And so my friends and I, we you drive by Oprah's house. It was the thing to do. Let's go see Oprah's farm. Yeah. That thing was like, you couldn't, they had a security gate. There were guard llamas. She had llamas. You couldn't get anywhere near the house. Like, I mean, it was guarded. And it was on a country road, which I'll never forget. She, the country road is really bad. And she got on her show and petitioned the county because it was full of potholes. You know that county fixed that road.
Real quick.
It was bad, though. It really was a bad road. Next on the dish, there may be another version of an iconic movie left on the cutting room floor. Apparently, here's the story. Robin Williams had some extra takes in a 1993 movie that didn't make the final cut. Look at this.
I'm not a Muslim. Face. Oh, good.
Miss Helen? The water's boiling.
Hello! Ah! Oh, I'm sorry to frighten you, dear. I must look like a yeti in this getup. This is my nightly meringue mask, part of my beauty regimen. What it is basically egg whites, creme fraiche, powdered sugar, vanilla, and a little touch of alum. There you go, dear. Oh, there you go. You've got your cream and your sugar now. It's a little cappuccino. 1 drop or 2. Would you like another one? Oh, there you go.
It's a drive-by fruiting. Chris Columbus, the director for Mrs. Doubtfire, confirmed the rumors, because these rumors have been going around for a while, that there is an R-rated version of the movie somewhere. According to Chris, he had a deal with Robin. Take 2 to 3 scripted takes, and then Robin would improvise for 15 to 22 takes. And a lot of times things got a little raunchy for the PG-13 movie. He said he could see the material being used for a behind-the-scenes documentary. Robin did this a lot. You know, I'm a nerd, so I watch a lot of these behind-the-scenes things on DVDs. One of the best for Disney movies, if you go to Aladdin, because Robin obviously was the genie in Aladdin, the amount of takes that they have of Robin just riffing, because that's all Robin. I mean, yes, there was a script present, but all of those characters from Jack Nicholson to Arsenio Hall to Ed Sullivan, those were, that just came out of Robin's mind. And they have mountains of video of him that never made it to the final movie.
That's crazy. And I also think about those people who act with folks like Robin Williams and how you also have to be quick because you don't know what they're going to do or say too, and you got to stay in character.
Well, it's one of my stories that I tell the studio audience. If you've been here, you know, I interviewed Robin once in my career, which I find a gift, in person. And he was with Owen Wilson because it was for a night at the museum, and they put him in the room with Owen. So I walk in, and you know what when you go in for these interviews, they announce you and the city you're from, so the star knows. So I got ready to walk in, and I heard the coordinator say, Robin, Owen, this is Jason from Minneapolis. And I walk in, I did not say another word. Robin stands up, he goes, Jason from Minneapolis. And he starts doing a Prince imitation. And he's like, Land of Thousand Lake, you know, and he goes on and on about, he's riffing on Minnesota. And then Owen starts laughing, and before I know it, my whole time is up. And I haven't asked one question, but it was fantastic. Didn't need to. Renee, Robin Williams fan, are you?
Oh, definitely.
Okay, don't mean to put you on the spot. Give me your favorite Robin movie.
Oh my goodness. I would think that it is Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah, that's just, and it's aged so well. Sally Field and Pierce Brosnan, and I don't know. It's a classic. Thank you, Renee. I love it. I love that one. I love Good Will Hunting.
Jumanji, yeah,
I don't know.
What? That was like my
people,
though. Yeah, my era.
I even like Popeye. I'm kidding. I didn't like that movie. It was horrible. Next in the dish, Katy Perry is joining the growing list of artists taking up residency in Sin City. Katy is reportedly about to start a residency in Vegas. According to Billboard, the residency will be at the fancy new Resorts World Casino, which has a 5,000-seat venue. The resort is set to open this summer, and Katie's show is expected to begin toward the end of the year. If you've never been to Vegas, this resort is the size of Apple Valley. I mean, they've been building it, Jeff, how long? 5 years? 6 years? Forever. Jeff and I were Vegas buddies.
You said it's sort of by the Wynn, right?
It's on so if you're looking at the Strip, down by the Encore and Wynn, that side, and Jeff's favorite, Circus. It's right there next. It's actually basically next to Circus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
That end of the Strip.
Got it.
I'm not joking, it is ginormous. It's the biggest, I think it actually, when it opens, it will be the biggest casino on the Strip.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a city.
She'll be perfect for this. I mean, and she's had a baby.
Yeah.
And you're making a ton of money when you do those shows.
You live there, they give you a condo.
Yeah.
You just walk downstairs. You do your show.
Did I ever tell you? I saw where Celine Dion lived when I was in Vegas. I went to a wedding in her, the compound area that she's in, and you could see it, across the way.
You went to a wedding in Celine Dion's compound?
Well, no, I don't know, the private gated.
You broke into a wedding, didn't you?
It was just one time, Jason.
Yeah.
No one's listening, right?
No, only a couple thousand people
only
watching.
A couple thousand.
Next, Jeff goes like this. Next in the dish. If you've been wondering what Ace Ventura has been up to the last 26 years, I know I have. You could soon get your answer. A third movie is in the works for the Ace Ventura franchise. The first movie, Pet Detective, put Jim Carrey on the map back in '94, and its sequel, When Nature Calls, came out a year later. The folks behind the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, you know that classic, are working on the new movie. They say they have 3 million fans on Facebook that have been asking for the movie. I don't believe that.
Really?
Look, that's one of those things. That joke is funny, and I love Carrie, but that joke's funny once, maybe twice. 3 times a lady. I don't know if we need a third. I don't think anyone's clamoring for another. Well, they're saying no one's clamoring for a third Ace Ventura.
No. Hot take. I'm not a huge Ace Ventura fan.
I'm not either.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, you're going to get emails about this, but
I
we're
don't
just
care.
not. We are who we are.
We get emails if I say orange, so it's fine.
True.
Very true. Still ahead. With The Bachelor over, it's time to find producer Ted a new show. We'll show you what we made Ted watch over the weekend. But next, I love saying this, coming to you live from her van down by the ocean, Stephanie Hansen will join us as she hits the road for a spring vacation, the tips and tricks of road tripping when we return. Road tripping. Welcome back to Ye Old Show. With spring break season here, many people are looking to get out of the house and go somewhere safely. And if you're not ready to fly, road trips could be the answer. Our next guest is back in her van, traveling the country with her husband. Ladies and gentlemen, I love saying this, joining us live from her van is Stephanie Hansen.
Good morning.
Steph, first I need to check. Both of you are still alive, right? Where's your husband? I need proof that your husband is still alive.
He's preparing for our next segment, but he is still alive. Yesterday, we had to have a moment of separation.
Okay.
I sat in the front seat. He laid in the bed in the back, and someone pointed out that I caught him eating chips.
Yeah, that's Steph. You got it. Let him have whatever moment he needs, Steph. Let the man eat chips.
Horizontally eating chips.
It's fantastic. Okay, let's start off with where are you right now? Where are you today?
I'm in the Florida Keys. We've driven all the way from the Twin Cities. I'm in Key Largo Campground. And there's a lot of people that are living here. There are boats and a lot of kayaking. We're actually going to be showing you a kayak later on the Florida mangroves. There's Gator signs everywhere, so I'm very on the alert. But yeah, we've driven through Wisconsin. We've driven through Georgia. We stopped in Charleston. It's been a great trip.
Okay, let's talk about some news you can use. You just said it. You've been to various states. Give us your observation of the different safety measures, what you've seen anecdotally. What have you witnessed? What stuck out to you?
You know, I thought because of COVID that it would be different states having different mask regulations. Certainly earlier in the spring when we traveled, when the COVID just hit, we saw that. Surprisingly, Florida has been great. People wear masks everywhere. South Carolina, people were wearing masks everywhere. Georgia, Kentucky. The place that was the worst where people weren't wearing masks was Wisconsin. You got that, Wisconsin. Like, quick trip, nobody's masked in there. It was really surprising that Wisconsin was the place that was actually the worst in terms of safety precautions that I observed.
And I will back you up. People know I was just in Florida as safely as possible the week before last. And I agree with you. Other than the beach, I saw the same thing you observed there.
And it's funny because there's so many things you can do outside here. Like, you can eat outside, you can kayak, you can swim. There's so many places to be outside that you see masks everywhere inside. Not as many masks outside, but all the servers are wearing masks. When you go into a grocery store, everybody is wearing a mask. I'm surprised how good it's been here. I expected Florida would maybe be the worst, but it's been just fine.
Let's talk about food. Let's start with Charleston. She crab soup. What is this, Steph?
Oh, okay, I ate it every single day. It's basically a cup of cream with she crab in it, and that's just like little pieces of crab, but they make the broth with a roe, and it has little, it's so delicious. It has red pepper. She crab soup is something you can only get in certain parts of the country, Charleston being one of them, Baltimore being another. It's my favorite thing. Also, oysters Rockefeller I had a lot of down here, and that's oysters that are broiled with a little spinach. I've just eaten seafood every single day. I haven't eaten meat once in like a week and a half.
You also had a lobster roll. You know, you and I both love the lobster roll. Oh, look. Oh, wow. You got your whole body language just changed. Let me do it again. Lobster roll. Yeah. Where was this
I got
at?
very excited. The lobster roll was at a place called Snooks, and it's an outdoor beach bar, and I had a painkiller there. I had the best Bloody Mary. It had clam juice in it and had a piece of shrimp and bacon. The lobster roll was not as good as Smack Shack because they didn't have the toasty roll, but the lobster inside, there was a lot of it. And it was only $15, which I thought was pretty cheap for a lobster roll sandwich.
You told the producers one of your favorite stops, if not your favorite so far, has been Charleston. Why?
Well, I think I would feel so, my brother moved there, so I got to meet my niece for the first time, who's 6 months old, so that was a highlight. But I just feel like it's a great place weekend. The historic houses that you can look at, the gardens were beautiful. There's lots of history there of the slave trade, which is very interesting. We went to a couple of museums. There's 3 plantations that are there, and you get all the historical context of what that's like. And Charleston was like the richest city in the early Americas because of the slave trade, because of the plantations that were there and the work that was being done there. So it's just super interesting. We really love Charleston. The food is great. It's a great place to go.
We'll end how we began. You mentioned gator warnings. Have you seen any gators so far, though?
No, but I've eaten them. You can eat these like fried gator chunks with a citrus sauce. So I ate them because I was like, well, I mean, gators and I don't have any fondness for them. I don't need to, they're protected in Florida. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah, well, don't say that out loud. Now they're going to be looking for you, Steph. You're eating them. You're busting on them on television.
I know,
now they're
and
going to come looking for you.
I'm about to get into the water. I'm about to get into the water for the next segment, and honestly, I have been looking for them, but I haven't seen any yet. But I know they're here because there's signs everywhere, and I'll show you something when we do the next segment about how they keep the gators out of the swimming area.
Oh God. Okay. Now, Steph, Lord knows I want this show to be popular. I want this to be a success. Let's not make news. Please be safe in this next segment. I don't need you eaten whole by a gator in this next segment. So please
Can you imagine?
No, I love you. Again, I want our show to go viral. I don't want our show going viral because you're eaten whole on live television. So please be careful, okay, Steph? Okay.
I will be careful. The lobster's out there getting it set up, so we're good.
Okay. Stephanie's going to take every safety precaution. We're going to get ready. We don't know about her husband, but Steph is going to be safe. Stephanie plus a gator plus a kayak when we return. Back in a moment. Oh, this is not going to end well. Welcome back to Gator Wrestling with Hanson. This fall on Fox. We're back with our buddy Stephanie Hansen, who's traveling the country in her van. She joins us now on the waterfront, getting ready to wrestle a gator. What are we doing here, Hansen? What's going on? I hear this is about a kayak.
Yeah, so I'm at the Key Largo campground, and it is right on what are called the Florida mangroves.
Okay.
And these are shallow waters. They're kind of brackish. They're about 2 or 3 feet deep, and you can kayak in them. But if you see behind me that line of bubbles in the water,
those are gators?
That is that's a bubbler that keeps the gators off the beach. So I'm safe as long as I don't cross the line, but of course we will. So here is our kayak. And it is a Paddle North kayak, and it is from the Twin Cities. I had an opportunity to talk with them. It blows up. It's like 50 pounds, and it comes in a bag. So we brought it with us on this trip because we thought it'd be super fun. It's a kayak, it's a canoe, and it's also a stand-up paddleboard. So as you can see, we're going to head out there, cross the Gator line, and hopefully enjoy some kayaking today with a Minnesota-made company.
Okay, I just want one quick question. Did you say that thing comes in a bag?
Yes, it comes in like a roller bag, and it blows up, and it's really cool. It's got 2 seats. You can stand in it. You can also paddle in it, and you can use it like a canoe, or you can use it like a kayak. I'm just here to tell you.
Go ahead.
Kayaking's hard.
Yes, it is.
Kayaking's hard. It's too hard. You got to be coordinated.
Yes.
We are just canoe.
No.
Yeah, canoeing is way easier.
Where do you put the sticks and things to ward off the gators? Is there a cabinet for that?
You know, all the stuff comes in the bag. But when we were out in it yesterday, just giving it our initial test run, I did think like, okay, if I saw eyes in the water, could I poke my paddle on it? Because honestly, I have no love for the gator. Like, if I see one, I'm going to poke it. I'm not going to be nice. I'm going to like scramble. I'm in an inflatable kayak, for goodness sake.
Yeah. Okay. Are you getting in now?
I'm going to get in here. Oh, I see the lobsters coming towards me. He doesn't want to be on camera today. We called my husband the lobster from the radio show because he had an oven mitt on his hand one year from surgery.
Yeah.
But okay, so.
Okay, lobster has the camera.
Yeah.
Okay, Stephanie's getting in. And now again, experts say she should not cross the bubbler border. But of course.
No, I should not cross the bubbler because if I cross the bubbler, here, Kurt, you hold this. That means I'm in gator territory. Okay, here we go.
Here we go, Steph. Godspeed, my love. Steph, watch out for the. No.
Oh, see, these people are coming.
Yeah, I know. Steph, do you have reverse on that thing? Be careful, Steph.
The bubbler is where the Gator line is.
Yeah, Steph, you're scaring the locals. You're scaring. You're scaring those locals, Steph. Okay, is she? Cross the bubbler.
I was nervous.
No, cross it, Steph.
Ooh, I'm just going.
You're going in circles, Hanson.
Oh, soon.
Are you in a whirlpool?
Good paddler.
She's literally going in circles.
That's the line, Jace.
Okay. Well, we'll check back in with you at the end of the show to make.
Okay, here we go.
Oh, this is not going to end well. Okay, Hanson, you're going in circles again,
No,
Hanson.
it's not going to end well.
No, it's not.
I'm going to be out here.
Somebody rescue her. There's Stephanie Hanson, everybody.
Jace, I didn't grow up in the.
Follow Stephanie on her journeys. Go to stephaniesdish.com. Can you, Kendall, call the Florida DNR real quick for you, please? Thank you. Still ahead, producer Ted is lost right now. There's no Bachelor to watch. How can he fill that hole in his heart? Well, we had an idea, and we'll show you when we come back. Back in a moment. Florida DNR, Kendall. Just Google them.
Are you a stick in the mud? Do you take life too seriously? Is your blood sugar low? Well, baby, do I got a drink for you? It's called Sweet Tooth, made to make you go from uptight to just right, baby. I've made this with all my favorite things. Sugar, glucose, high fructose corn syrup, gut rock, and a little bit of that stuff.
That is a clip, Simone. That is a clip from the most recent episode of RuPaul's Drag Race. The queens had to come up with their own soft drink commercials, and some were better than others. Simone was the best. And in between watching college basketball this weekend, we thought this was the perfect time for producer Ted to watch his first ever episode ever of RuPaul's Drag Race. And that means it's time once again for 67% of America loves Ted. Joining us now from the workroom is producer Ted. Good morning, Ted.
Good morning.
Okay, now we should say that we threw Ted in the deep end. Like, we didn't have him start at like an old season. We didn't have him start at, episode 1 of a given season. We just had you jump into the pool with this week's episode, which we're almost to the end of the season. So what did you think overall?
Well, I didn't really know what to expect going in. I mean, I had my, ideas of what to expect, but I didn't realize this is kind of like, it gave me Celebrity Apprentice vibes.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
They have a project, they do their thing, and then they do their runway thing, which they don't do on Celebrity Apprentice. But you have the panel, and they kind of judge them based on the, creativity, how they were able to pull it together. So that part of it, I kind of liked.
Okay. Do you have any questions for us?
Let's talk about the pit crew.
Okay. Now, we should explain the pit crew are the guys that help out with the contests.
Why aren't they wearing anything?
Ratings, Ted, ratings. I mean, shows have been objectifying women for decades. It's time for the dudes, I guess. That right, Kendall? Look into Kendall. No, I know. This is editor Rob King's least favorite part of
Yeah. I mean, so I went in with this with expectations, and whatever. Rob King didn't know what he was walking into work with today.
No.
And he gets all the
video,
the pit crews. Utica Queen, our local
yes
queen was on. I thought she was a little over the top.
And you know what, Ted? You're not actually alone in this. Because I love her, we love her, we're rooting for her, but sometimes her weirdness gets in the way, don't you think?
Yeah, and I think that can be I think that could be the case for a lot of these queens are so creative. They,
Yes.
you know, they're just ideas and ideas and ideas, and when you put them in, you know, like put those ideas to work, they can't translate it to the consumer.
Yes.
For it to make sense.
Okay.
But some of them can.
As Ted mentioned, if you are like Ted and you never watched the show, the grand finale of every episode is the runway, where the queens are given a theme and they have to create their looks. What did you think of the runway this week, Ted?
Okay, what was the theme? Because it was like RuPaul gets up there and she's like, the theme is, and I'm like, wait, what?
It's Beast. The theme was Beast.
Oh.
Which is a reference to an old, to another queen. But yeah, so they had to be a version of a beast. So what you're looking at, like, these were created. These are, I mean, this is amazing. Like, look at Simone right there as the fox.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, maybe they're supposed to dress like the devil because you had Utica doing her thing and then you had another one in red, but then this one is not a devil. But then you had like another one that looked like a Cabbage Patch.
Yes.
And then you had another one that looked sort of like Shrek.
Yes.
With like a air mattress,
alien attached.
You know, yeah.
So the end of the episode, they break it down to 2, and then they have to lip sync for their life.
Why lip sync?
Well,
I didn't get that. Why are we lip syncing?
Because that's what drag queens do, Ted.
Oh.
They do humanitarian work. Okay, this is my I'm just gonna be blunt. This is my new favorite segment. Gay guy explains to straight guy about drag queens.
I thought they sing on their own sometimes.
No, they can, but they're mainly, you know, they're lip syncing. They're known for many things, but that's why they have to lip sync. It's part of the thing, Ted.
Okay, spoiler alert. I'm gonna maybe say who went home.
Go ahead, spoiler alert.
It wasn't Utica.
It was not.
So this person gets eliminated, and then were people surprised that this person got eliminated?
Yes, Ted, they're up in arms.
Look at her.
Perfect way to end our brand new segment. Gay guy explains to straight guy RuPaul's Drag Race. Thank you, Ted.
Thank you.
Wow, this is in 6 seasons. This is my favorite moment. Thank you, Ted. We'll be right back to wrap things up. Back in a moment. Oh my goodness. Why is she eliminated? Look at her. Oh, we were having fun on a Monday. Hope you are too. Welcome back, my dear friends. Don't forget to sign up to be a part of our virtual audience. Go to the Jason Show Facebook page. Just do that by searching for Jason Show TV. Sign up for a certain day, and you'll be part of the audience. In my hand, I hold the Mystic Mystery Bubblegum Mystery Question of the Day. You ready, Kendall?
What beast would you be in RuPaul's Drag Race?
That's right.
Okay.
Would you rather have everyone be able to read your thoughts or everyone have access to your internet history?
Whew.
We'll be right back with the answer to that. Welcome back, everyone. Let us say goodbye to our audience friend today, Renee. Thank you so much for joining us, sweetie. Please come back and see us when we can have an audience again.
I will.
Thank you, sweetie. Have a great week. Okay, it's time for our bubblegum goodbye. This almost got... here we go. Here's the question. I forgot it already. Would you rather have everyone be able to read your thoughts or everyone have access to your internet history? Ladies first.
I was going to say access to my internet history because I don't think it's that bad, but I think your thoughts would lead to, like, it would just make life a little easier. You'd get used to it. You'd be like, well, now you know what I think.
Oh, God, that's really rational.
Right? That was what I was thinking. See, you know my thoughts.
No, but sometimes you can't control your thoughts. You know what I mean? Like, you just, like, if someone says something sassy and you're like, you know, and that
or
just...
guacamole tank.
Oh, guacamole woman at the time, she would have killed, I mean, she would have hit me.
Oh, for
My
sure.
thoughts, but, okay, I'm going to do internet history.
Really?
Wow, sass, yes.
Okay, well, you seemed a little concerned when you opened the gumball, like what you were going to do, and
Well,
you seemed
both
very
are not
clear.
pleasant. I mean, you know,
Well,
I'm just saying.
you just have to learn how to turn all thoughts off all the time. I think the monks can do it.
I think that's the first time monks have ever been mentioned on the show. Ted, can you check that tomorrow, please? Tomorrow on the show, we just confirmed it. It's the first time we've ever referenced monks.
You're welcome.
Tomorrow on the show, Kendall heads to a local welding shop to see if she can make anything out of metal. Okay, that's tomorrow on the Monk Hour. Go out there and be yourself, kids, because nobody can tell you you're doing it wrong. Thank you for watching. Bye, everybody.